Welcome to the ANEW Body Insight Podcast, empowering and inspiring your journey to optimal health. Hosted by Dr. Supatra Tovar, clinical psychologist, registered dietitian, fitness expert, and author of Deprogrammed Diet Culture. Rethink your relationship with food, heal your mind, and live a diet-free life. And Chantal Donnelly, physical therapist and author of Settled, How to Find Calm in a Stress-Inducing World. We follow our guests' journey to optimal health, providing you with the keys to unlock your own wellness path. Tune in and evolve with us. Hello and welcome to the ANEW Body Insight Podcast. I am Dr. Supatra Tovar, and I am thrilled to have the 2023 IDEA Personal Trainer of the Year, Epic Leisure Management owner, and Far Side of Fitness podcaster, Dr. Darian Parker, or as I call him, Dr. D, with us today. Dr. D, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. We had a great time on my podcast. It was awesome. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, we are pod swapping, and I had such an amazing time on Dr. D's podcast, The Far Side of Fitness. We didn't even want it to end.
I know.
We forced ourselves to end. It was so good. So we're back for more because I think we have much more to talk about on all of these topics. Before that, I'm going to read a little bit about Dr. Darian, Dr. D, and then we'll get right into our questions. Dr. Darian Parker, or Dr. D, is the 2023 IDEA Personal Trainer of the Year and co-owner of Epic Leisure Management, LLC. As the owner of Parker Personal Training, LLC, and the host of the Far Side of Fitness podcast, Dr. D brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the fitness and wellness community. He also serves as an adjunct faculty member, blending academic insights with real-world expertise. With a focus on personal training and leisure management, Dr. Parker is dedicated to helping individuals achieve their fitness goals through science-backed, individualized approaches. Dr. D, welcome.
Yes. Let's get it going.
Let's do this. You have had a really impressive journey through the fitness industry. Tell us what inspired you to go into fitness, and what are the key turning points that led you to found Epic Leisure Management? Also tell us what that is, and Parker Personal Training.
Well, it's funny. I was on another one of my colleagues' podcasts last week, and it was kind of a similar question. And I told him something I thought was kind of surprising to him was, I didn't get into fitness because I love it. That was never my reason. I just like talking to people. I enjoy connecting with people, and relationship building is really important to me. So fitness just happened to be a really good way to do that because you're just spending a lot of time with a lot of people all the time, and they're really vulnerable in that time with you. And a lot of times I feel like in life, people are playing a character or something, and it's kind of like you're getting this other version of them out in the world. And I feel like when you're working with people one-on-one and, they're working out, it's like the raw version of people. And that's what I want. I want the most raw, authentic version of the people. And I find that I get that with training people, that I get to see a part of them that maybe they don't show to other people in their lives. This presentation of the self's a little bit different, I feel, in that sense of the thing. So I really like it because of that. I've been in the business 24 years ago now, and I feel like this is just something that's very natural for me. The first session I ever did it just clicked for me. It made a lot of sense that this was something I should be doing. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing this forever. And then Epic Leisure Management was, I co-owned that with my business partner, Alan Jakubowskis, and we worked for the same company for a really long time. And he was my supervisor for like 11 years. And a great mentor, really brought me up in the leisure management, luxury, fitness and wellness environment. And eventually both left the company to do our own thing, and basically consulting for luxury fitness and wellness spas, private residential communities, corporate facilities, things of that nature. So staying busy on that front too. So I have like a lot of different things I'm interested in within fitness. But I think the main connection is just chatting with people, enjoying my time with others, you know.
Absolutely. I can totally relate to that. It really wasn't until I started training clients in Pilates that I realized how much I enjoyed helping people and how that just sparked this fuel, of fire in me to take it to a whole other level. You're even in the academic realm. Tell us about your work there.
Yeah, that's kind of where I started actually. The first time I trained someone was at a university as a graduate student, my master's degree. And it was at the Faculty of Staff Fitness facility in James Madison University. And it was just there that I just really, I've always enjoyed the academic environment, like talking to people, connecting with people. I never liked the bureaucracy of it and all of the kind of the slow moving dinosaur train that it is in many ways. It's can be a rough environment in that sense. I feel like many ways they're just very behind with what's actually happening in the real world. But I did think that, you know, after many years of not being in it, I decided to get back to it. Now I'm teaching at 3 different colleges. And I think mainly I'm doing it because I feel like it's a good way for me to connect with the future people who are going to be in the industry that we're in and give them like the reality of what it's like. This is one thing to talk about theories and discuss, well, here's the program design we should do, and we should do a split routine, and we should do upper and lower, and we should, steady state exercise. Yeah, that's great, but it's really not realistic when you work with people and they show up and they haven't slept, or they haven't eaten anything, or they just had a major argument with somebody in their life. And I feel like to tell them like the reality of working with people is much different than what you're being taught. You're cueing them here and that, what's going on in their life, what's bothering them, how tired they are. I mean, just like people stuff. You're peopling with people regularly. I just came off a training session coming into this, whereas most academic folks are not practitioners. They actually don't even work in the field that they're actually teaching you about. There's something wrong with that, I think. And so I insert myself into it to provide some realism about what's happening.
Oh, I love that. And I think you're one of the few trainers that I've talked to that really embrace the relationship and how that is so important to the change that you might see in somebody's body. But really not having that emphasis, I think helps people feel calmer, helps them feel more relaxed, helps them to accept and love their bodies as they are right now, even as they're striving to change that. And the fact that you're teaching that to the newest wave of trainers out there is so valuable, because so many people had come to me complaining that their personal trainer just stuck them on a diet, weighed them as soon as they came in, measured them, treated them kind of like a lab experiment, and really not loving that process. So I am sure, just as how easy you are to talk to as just a human being, it must be so easy for your clients to just be with you and to have you help them guide their bodies to where they want to go. And I'm sure that these kind of topics have helped to inform your podcast. I want to talk about the far side of fitness, because I know you talk about topics that you don't always expect in fitness discussions. What inspired you to bring these more unconventional topics to your podcast, and how do they contribute to this broader understanding of holistic wellness?
I think we're missing the point. Is that we need to delve into things that I believe are really different, but actually just common sense, like literally just common sense. And I think working with people is so much about, hey, let's discuss alternative ways or I don't think they're alternative. That's the thing with me. I just think these are like, we're not talking about them. So I got a recent one was on the anatomy of a personal training session. And because I never hear anybody talking about their sessions. They just talk around their sessions, or, oh, dude, I'm doing push-pull exercises, or we're focusing on lifting heavy. I'm like, anyways, like what actually happens? Like What's when you meet with your client? How are they feeling? What are they talking to you about? How are you selling during your session by being yourself? Are you playing a character? Are you not? Just like no one talks about their session. They talk around their sessions. I don't like that.
Right.
So I want to talk about stuff that I just think is like really different. Like, let's get to the detail that I think we're skipping, because I think we just assume this happens in a session or that happens. But if like you really pay attention to personal training sessions, honestly, it's just a lot of BSing during it. Like, it's a lot of talking,
Really?
a lot of connecting, a lot of laughing, BSing in a good way. What I mean, a lot of, really talking about each other's families while getting people to move. And I think that's the secret sauce. And in the far side of fitness,
Right.
I want to talk about that type of stuff, or different angles to, I think, topics that people just generally all agree with. It's like I did one on the dark side of meditation. Meditation is great, but it doesn't mean it's great for everyone. Like, why aren't we talking about that? So we just follow each other like sheep into the abyss of different topics, like they're all the same for everyone. And I just think that's
Right.
not the case for that. And I just like to be brutally honest.
Well,
about
what do you-
stuff.
Absolutely. What do you think is the dark side of meditation?
It's just meditation triggers some people. Sometimes being with your own thoughts is actually very triggering for people. And there's more than meditation is wonderful, but it's not always indicated for every single person. And I feel like we've made meditation like this cover-all blanket thing. Like, yeah, you should meditate. Okay, let's have some discernment. Maybe you should meditate. Try it. Let's see if it works. Give it a run. And if it doesn't feel effective for you, realize that doesn't serve you. Versus just saying everyone should meditate. It's just like a blanket coverage statement. Life is nuanced.
Totally.
And it's nuanced.
I think people have a pre-described notion of meditation, that they have to be sitting in lotus position, and they have to hold their hands in mudra, and they have to clear their mind, and they can't think of anything. And I think it's so important that people have a more nuanced view of meditation. I think meditation can be whatever you want it to be. You can be sitting, you can be lying down, you can be walking, you can be focusing on your breathing. There's so many ways that you can actually open up your definition of meditation. And I always really shy away from anyone who says you have to meditate this way, because I don't. I know that, I got into it because I was so stressed out in my nutritional science master's program. I hadn't been in school for a while, and I had to like memorize stuff and do biochem and all of this stuff. And I just needed a way to like release my mind of thoughts. So I actually meditate lying down, listening to music. If I fall asleep and take a nap, great. If I don't, I'm just sort of floating around in my body, but I don't have a prescribed way. And I think that that's so, so important. I love that you have that kind of topic along with the anatomy of a personal training session, and that it's really not about, going from this to this to this. It's really about how you're formulating the relationship.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our podcast episode, because it was so refreshing to hear how you embrace a more anti-diet culture and anti-gym culture approach. Tell us how that actually leads to more longevity and a better way for us to embrace the environment.
This one, I think this is where we got going, and we couldn't stop. We're doing it.
Yes.
They were like kindred spirits about this here. And I think this bleeds in from the last thing we were just talking about, the question you asked me. And it's just a different point of view, I feel like. And I formulated it for me just based off of observational data. Like, I don't think that anything I say is like mind-blowing. It's just paying attention. It's like, okay, I'm in a gym. If I'm in a gym, I see this, and then I see people exhibiting certain behaviors. Then I see advertisement of certain behaviors. Then I say, oh, this is anti-longevity. This is anti-social relationship building. This is certainly environmentalism.
Yeah,
This is certainly does
exactly.
nothing to improve the welfare of animals or trash, whatever it is. Just like this. But the thing is that bothers me is I hear no one talking about it. So I just feel like I'm going to talk about it. Oh, we care about our bodies and we care about the emotional toll of all these different things. Then why are we pumping this anti-planet message all the time? This
Yes, talk more about that. Because a lot of people are really not connecting the dots. We're in a cycle of diet culture and gym culture where protein, especially animal protein, is just, it's in our face all the time. It's in every product. It is talked about right and left, how we need protein, to a point where people are getting, at the very least, 2 to 5 times the amount of protein that they might need in a day. And we talked on your podcast about how it's an irresponsible message, especially coming from nutrition and fitness professionals who should know what the actual protein requirements are for a person. But talk to our listeners about how that's an anti-environmental message.
Right. Your choices are your choices. You're going to do what you want to do. You have the freedom for those choices, but at least have some critical thinking about those choices. And if you really boil it down and think about it, if you're pumping, let's say, whether you want to eat meat or not, that's your prerogative. But let's say you're going to eat meat. Shouldn't, as part of a healthy, well-being based lifestyle, you know where that meat comes from, how it is produced, where it is produced, the welfare of the animals or lack thereof? Isn't that part of a holistic understanding of taking care of yourself and other people? So when the Cisco truck pulls up to the grocery store and is getting this factory farm meat to you, why are you not thinking about that? Right? Go ahead and eat meat. It's totally fine, but like, source it better. Like, instead of just being this mass consumption of whatever you're eating, think about it. And for nutritionists, shame on nutritionists who don't understand that part of it. So you should be better than this. Where does the food come from? The other thing is it's a deniability. It's like, I don't want to know where it comes from. I'm just going to tell you, you should have this many servings of this and that. I think we're doing people such a disservice for the aspect of meat. Again, whatever you want to do is your choice. But you do realize that the majority of meat you're eating is factory farmed. Overwhelmingly is factory farmed.
Yes.
And those animals are being treated so poorly, and they're being pumped with tremendous amount of steroids and hormones that will be pumped into you too for that.
Exactly.
So it's not like you have to know this.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily want to know that because they enjoy the fact that their meat comes to them relatively cheaply.
Yes.
And they don't want to necessarily spend the extra money. But you have to be thinking about, where are your dollars going? How are we spending our money, especially in diet and gym culture? How are we funding and fueling industry that's really egregiously harming our planet? And can we then be more discerning about how we spend our money? If you are going to eat meat, yes, you absolutely should know where it comes from, especially if you are interested in greater aspects of health beyond just getting your protein. If you're worried about antibiotics, if you're worried about all of the steroids that are pumped in to the animals, if you're worried about GMO, soy and corn, they're actually being fed the most to these animals. And that, when you ingest that animal, you are correct, ingesting what they ingested. And we have to, I think, be a little bit more discerning. On top of that, if you look at these factory farms, they're one of the greatest contributors to global warming and the deforestation of our planet. So I do think we need to be responsible. And even if you might be financially less secure, there are a lot of ways going to your farmer's market, going to local butcheries, things like that, that will help you make better and more informed choices. And I also think, yes, it's really important to educate ourselves on the benefits and the harms of having animal protein, especially in the quantities that we're ingesting them, and to really kind of rethink how we get our protein, because we can get our protein from plants as well. And it is much more beneficial to our body because of the vitamins, the minerals, and the fiber. So if we can open up our eyes to the possibilities of protein outside of animal protein, I think we're not only helping our bodies, but we're helping the planet. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. And you know what? This is not a infomercial to get people to be plant-based. You do whatever you want to do.
No.
I'm not, this is your life. I'm just saying, have some discernment, learn about where things come from. That's on any side of the equation. Like, I think the biggest mistake people make in life is not having discernment and just going along with every single thing that happens. And in fitness, I just don't understand how you can't connect the dots between your body and where things come from. And it's just like, it's like when someone tells me they have so much passion for animals, they love animals. I'm just like, okay, there's some cognitive dissonance here. If you don't understand that how the animal is coming to you is coming in a really stressed out state. Besides all those other substances getting in there, it's the stress hormone the animal produces before it dies as well in this way. I'm not saying eat meat. You just be discerning about it. That's all I'm saying. And listen, this is it, man. Let's just be objective here. This is the only planet we have. I know I'm going to sound like someone's a bleeding heart and all that, but this is not like my opinion. It's the reality. There's no other planet. You can say it's Mars and all that stuff. No one's going there anytime soon. Nothing's happening anytime soon. You are here. In your lifetime, you will not exist on another planet. And other people will not exist on another planet either anytime soon.
Yeah.
This is it.
And why would we want to?
Right. This is what we got.
It's such a beautiful planet. Yes. I absolutely agree. I think if there's any time to open our eyes and wake up to the reality of global warming, it is now. And a lot of people think, well, there's nothing I can do. Well, there's plenty that you can do if you really, do educate yourself. And being discerning about where you get your food is one of them. Now, back to some other misconceptions. We have just a couple more minutes for this part of this episode. What do you think are the most common misconceptions in the fitness industry? And how do you discuss them on your podcast and with your clients?
This is all clients want to get fit. A big one. That everybody you work with wants to be in great condition. That is not true. And in fact, I can only give you my observational data from my 2 decades plus doing it. I would say the majority of people are not looking for that, actually. And I think they don't know that either. A lot of times the clients for that. But I think it's this, again, it goes back to our educational system and kind of this whole kind of, I honestly feel like really a mirage is that you're going to go out there and we're going to get all these people fit and we're going to change their lives and then make their bodies really tight and all that. I don't know. That's not the world I live in with working with people. The majority of people, they want movement accountability and they want companionship. That's what they want. That's my business. Movement accountability, companionship. That's what I'm the business I'm in. I'm not fooling myself thinking I'm going to go in there and we're doing, 3 sets of 12 or we're doing German volume workouts. I mean, it's like a tiny percentage of people you can ever do anything like that with. Most of your work is 80% of the job is getting people to actually show up to what you're trying to have them to do. It's most of it.
I do think that there are, a lot of people who do need that extra, just gentle push to get them moving every day or most days of the week, and having somebody that they can connect with, that they can talk to about their lives. It becomes a therapeutic event for them and encourages them to continue. I do think that, when we think of the more punishing aspects of fitness and the kind of celebrity routines that are touted, for the ones that are getting ready for these superhero movies. That tends to attract a certain clientele, but I don't think it's necessarily a sustainable clientele.
Yeah.
And you're looking at really making exercise and fitness a sustainable approach.
Yeah, it's just, and for me, it's, so many new trainers, their whole dream is to go and work with athletes. I honestly don't know why you'd want to work with a bunch of athletes. I'm like, one, it's actually pretty boring to me. There's not a lot of challenge to it. Two, it's a very small segment of population. And three, I think the majority of people you're going to work with are going to be just regular people who are struggling to make your sessions and struggling. They're just keeping their head above water in life. They're managing their families, maybe some elder care, children, their job. Dude, they're just trying to make it to their session, and you're just trying to be a good person in their life. You're not trying to be a distraction in their life or something. You're not trying to make it harder for them. People don't need another thing in their life.
Yeah.
They need another good thing and that's my whole thing is, let me be a good part of your life. And let's just be honest. You're probably not willing to do what it takes anyways to get to the top of your genetic ceiling. That's okay. Why do you want to do that anyways? Like, you're just trying to move regularly, take care of your family, be a good person, put your head down. I'm just being realistic, I think. I don't have these grandeur ideas about what I'm going to do with the world and stuff. I'm just like, let me just be a good person in your life. And training is a good way to do that.
Oh, I love it. Dr. D, you are a good person and you really exude that. We are out of time for this half of this podcast episode, but I really hope you all come back for the second half of this, because Dr. D has got it going on. He has a sustainable, compassionate and empathetic approach that you don't always normally see coming out of gym culture. And we're so lucky to have him with us. So please come back for the second half of this wonderful episode with Dr. D, and we will see you all next time. Thanks, Dr. D.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into the ANEW Body Insight Podcast. Please remember, the content shared on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. You can find us anywhere podcasts are streaming, on YouTube at my.anew.insight and at anew-insight.com under the ANEW Body Insight Podcast tab. Follow us on our socials at my.anew.insight on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more updates. Tune in next time and evolve with us.